Hey there guys, and welcome to another Civ study on Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition. Today we're looking at the Inca, and more specifically all of their support cards and what they end up doing to your units. So we'll be looking at Sapa Inca, Quipu Kamayuks, Advanced Tambos. That's specifically for getting the build limit, and here you get the line of sight, increased speed, hit point aura on the Tambos, but you also get the additional Chasqui. That Chasqui speed really gets out of control. Same here, we're getting a base 1 addition to the Chief's stat. Here we're getting across the board increases to our infantry. The Sequay system, I used this just to get the XP rolling to get this going up a little faster because there's a lot of cards to get through. Alright, Curer. So this is going to cause your poison to go double damage from your bowman, and it's going to be 25% more damaging. So that's really good for, in a retreat, you can just do that extra little bit of damage. Huanca support. This is going to cause your build times overall to be 15% smaller. So this is a really, really good one to throw in. Plus it gives you that additional, what do you call it? Town center. Oh my goodness, brain not working. Okay, so Kanyari support's going to cause your macemen to be able to attack faster. It says minus 20%. That just the way the math works in the game. That's what they have to use. So here's the so the way the support cards work is they act like a mercenary card or a troop card, but they buff that particular troop. So this is buffing all of the native troops or the natural troops of the Incans. So that's what happens with the Spearmen. Also delivers 8 of them, obviously. So the Aymara support, oh my goodness, gives you an additional 5 limit to your Chasqui, but it gives them 15 damage base. It gives them 50% extra hit points. It gives them stealth action, which is nuts. And you get 3.5 to damage bonus. Now, that doesn't mean he's doing 3.5 extra damage. That means the damage bonus that they get is increasing by 3.5. They get something stupid like 4 or something like that against mercenaries. So if they're using the mercenaries and you throw out this sort of card like the Aymara support, you are going to chew through them like nobody's business. Land military speed plus 10. So this is really good. Oh my god, just die already. Whatever. No population room. Oh my god. Alright, you know what? Go get them, guys. At any rate, let's get back into this. I cannot stand that right there. It needs to be less frequent. Alright. So back into it, you know, we're getting the additional 10% land speed for our guys. The ranged units, the Harakas, the Bolas, and the Jungle Bowmen are going to get 15% damage here and 15% hit points here. Whereas the War Chief, Plume Spearman, Maceman, and the Chimu Runner are getting both of those already from infantry combat. So it is much quicker and less cards to use the infantry as opposed to the ranged, but that's not what we're here for right now. Chimu support. This is going to give your Chimu Runners the ability to ensnare their enemies. So if you say, and they're really fast too, so if you just run up ahead and just start hitting as many guys as you can ensnare a group that may have had a bad exchange with you and force them to keep having that bad exchange with you. You know, make it to where they have to fight on your grounds. Oh my goodness. Just, alright, okay, I get it. You're strong. Just die already. Focus down these last couple guys, please. Alright, let's get them back. Alright. Next, the Cajamarca support. This is going to cause your bowmen to actually do additional damage to the heavy infantry in all of their modes. So they're already good against heavy infantry, but this just makes them that much more better. Imperial Unity. This is one that I will suggest if you're using the troop or the mercenary or the support cards. It significantly reduces the research time, so they pop out faster, and you get them for a lot less money. And in the long run, that helps out a lot. I got a popcorn kernel in my throat. Alright, so next we're buffing the priestesses. They get 30% hit points, 35% less build time, So that means you can pop them out of your ritual place a lot faster. Now here's the thing, is they get a 20 hand attack damage, not plus 20. They get a plus 20 to their damage bonus against heroes. So that's anything with the aura around it, or monks, for example, as well count. But they're going to be doing an insane amount of damage to those types of units. And on top of that, they get to gather things, crates. So the Chirabaya dogs, you can get the same effect using the 6 Peruvian dogs up here. The only difference is you do not get the hit point buff. Both of the cards will allow you to start training these guys at your Concha houses, or from your war chief. This one, of course, is going to give you that plus 30% hit points. Now, they are dogs; they're not that powerful. I apologize for that. I wish I had something to drink with me right now. I left it over there. I have to deal with it. Son of Inti is going to cause your war chief to just get substantially more powerful. It gives them the increased damage, area of attack, all of that good stuff. Now, Cloud Warriors is a fun one too. We'll look at that in a little bit. Now, your Chimu runners are already getting stealth from up here, but if you don't take the Aymara support, you can go ahead and get that through Cloud Runner. Next, the Chanka support is going to cause your mace men to be cheaper. It doesn't seem like that much, but you know it definitely adds up over time. Your Chachapoya support is going to give you an additional 5 line of sight on your which one is it? The Huaraca, and they're getting a 5 to siege attack maximum range. So all of a sudden they get to sit back a lot farther and start picking off those buildings. They're just really good against buildings, and this makes them even more ridiculous. Then we get the Bolus one, or the Cola support for the Bolus Warriors. Now it says it inflicts extra melee damage against cavalry, and we see that it says that it's doing that the entire way down. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to see that actually on the card at all. I'm not sure if this particular card is bugged, but assuming, see that minus 0.50 to what? Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense right there. At any rate, what all these cards are going to be doing is buffing your base units. Here you're not really buffing them, you're just kind of getting them stronger. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like in practice. So I've already upgraded all of these guys to an intense amount. So we can see right here, this will be their base hit points if you're interested. But we have a 4.6 speed on these guys and a 285 health. So that's pretty good for a ranged unit. Same with the Bolus Warrior. We're getting 332 from 175. We got a speed of 4.6. So again, he's not a slouch when running, not the fastest. Chimu runners are getting up to 7.5 speed, 322 health. We see that their damage is all nice and good. The bowmen, we're at 193 health, so they are a little squishier than the other units, but they are the bowmen. Let's see here. Here's the heavy infantry thing. So you see they're up to a 2 times attack on them. So it was 1, so it doesn't show up, and now it's at a 2 times attack. So you're going to be doing extra damage to those heavy infantry, and so that's always going to help out when facing stuff like muskets or something like that. Moving on, we have our Huaraca up here. Yeah, just like the siege range, you can see here, siege attack range is a 31. Like, that is absolutely silly. So here, the dogs are quite up there as well. You notice that they're not that strong initially, but as you get through the ages, you get them pretty strong. Where is the war chief? I left you somewhere. That's the button. There you are. We can see that the war chief is actually quite buffed quite a bit. He's from base 500 up to 3,575 health, and that's just for now. His crack shots at 604, swashbucklers 526, and this is coming from the cards. Crack shot, not necessarily, but the swashbuckler attack that does the area of effect and stuff. Yeah, and it's not a slouch as long as you make sure you're using the things appropriately. A lot of these cards are totally worth it. Alright, so next we're going to see what they look like with the attack buff. So we see that it increases the damage of all units by 27%. And we see, yeah, the crack shot's much higher, swashbuckler's much higher, the regular damage is up to 100, and we're doing extra damage to guardians and horse, and what do we got here, light infantry maybe? Shock infantry, yeah. So that's gonna he's gonna start wrecking things. It's only gonna take him a few hits to drop things. If we look at something like our Macemen, they're up to a 171 on their siege. The Bolus Warrior is just straight 43 across the board. Now these guys are pretty good against cavalry, so that's always good to remember. But of course, so are the legendary Plumed Men. We're up to a 90 and 35 on our attack, 575 speed. So the ceremony down here is worth it, especially when you're going into fight. Let me see if I can find the... Supposed to get a aura, but I'm not seeing that actually going into effect. Well, that's either a bug or I'm just not using it correctly. They're getting the aura from the HP there. Alright, now let's go ahead and look at that stealth maneuver. Like, what can we do with that? Well, first off, with the Chasqui, I put them into stealth. They're done. Now the enemy just can't see them. And with that 8.45 speed, remember their base speed is a 6. So we can get them up to an 8.45. They just scream across the battlefield. And they're invisible. So that stealth warrior thing is actually good for the Chasqui as well, because it allows them to move at a natural speed without having to be slow. And the same is to be said about the what happens with the, what do you call them, the bowmen. But you see right there, like, the enemy can't really do anything about me coming through here. So I can come up here and see, like, oh look, we got villagers. So I might do a couple hits and then boom. See, they're trying to get my guys, but the Chasqui are so fast, like, they just can't be caught. And like I said, they're doing that bonus damage, bonus 4.5 times damage to mercenaries, 3 times damage to treasure guardians. Not that there should be any treasure guardians left at this point. We can see the same effect with the bowmen, if I can find them. Yep, there we go. So the bowmen can also go invisible. And I would say they're a little bit better for taking on the villagers, though they don't get to get away as easily, so you will lose some guys at this point trying to do this sort of tactic. But yeah, so you get to use the stealth to a kind of silly effect with these sorts of units that are insanely powerful, like those Chasqui, dude. They scream across the battlefield. You can't anticipate them coming in. If you include that with the building line of sights that you saw in one of my previous video, you can just get around to where you need to be, run in, take out their artillery before they even get to your walls. The fast Chasqui are just such an asset. And like I mentioned before, you don't really need troop cards beyond the support cards, depending on which way you're building out your support troops. Mainly because, like, let's come up here and just take out this guy. So now I'm running away. And, yep, there's another guy they're trying to take me with. Make him run away. Oh, the poison took him. That's one thing that's really good about that poison attack, is you don't even have to really hit everyone, and they just really get wrecked by it. But yeah, so that's how the different synergy, or the, I'm sorry, so that's how the different cards for the support are going to work for your army. All of these things are going to really buff up your natural troops that you have access to, so you don't necessarily have to rely on there being native warriors in the area, because sometimes the maps only have like 2 trade posts and that's it. So definitely make sure that your cards are built to each situation, and I hope to see you guys next time.